And Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says he's recovering after being in intensive care last week. Unnamed defense and Biden administration officials say top leaders weren't told about his condition for days. That allegedly includes President Biden, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, and Austin's Deputy of Defense.
The reported lapse in communication comes amid high tensions in the Middle East. Iran-backed terror groups have been lashing out against U.S. bases and troops, provoking strikes from the U.S. in Iraq and Syria.
Austin is 70 and served 41 years in the military, retiring as a 4-star Army general. He's just under the president in the chain of military command. He needs to be ready at a moment's notice to react to any type of national security crisis, including a nuclear attack. NTD's Jeremy Sandberg has more on what we know about the top defense leader's condition.
Pentagon spokesman Pat Ryder stated Austin had an elective medical procedure December 22nd and was released from the hospital a day later. He says Austin was sent into intensive care on Monday, New Year's Day, after experiencing severe pain. Ryder says the National Security Council and Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks weren't told until 3 days later on Thursday. The spokesman stated Austin's chief of staff was ill and unable to make notifications before then. Ryder says Austin is recovering well and resumed full duties Friday evening from his hospital bed. Hicks was in Puerto Rico on leave and set to return to Washington, but decided to stay after finding out Austin was taking back full control. Temporary transfers of authority without explanation are not unheard of, but the lack of transparency is raising some concerns in Congress. Senator Roger Wicker, the top-ranking GOP member on the Senate Armed Services Committee, wished Austin a speedy recovery, but says the delay was unacceptable. Wicker accuses the Defense Department of deliberately withholding information about Austin's health for days, calling it a shocking defiance of the law. The Republican senator says the episode erodes trust in the Biden administration and is demanding that lawmakers are given a full accounting of the facts immediately. Democratic Representative Adam Smith put out a joint statement with GOP Congressman Mike Rogers, expressing concern with how the disclosure of Austin's condition was handled. Smith and Rogers asked why the notification took so long, what the medical procedure and resulting complications were, and when the delegation of his duties was made. The two lawmakers are demanding Austin provide details of his health and on the decision-making process that took place, stating transparency is vitally important. The Pentagon Press Association called the slow alert an outrage in a letter to Austin and Ryder, declaring it's critical for Americans to know the top defense leader's health status and decision-making ability, noting growing threats in the Middle East and the key security role the U.S. plays in Israel and Ukraine. Austin took responsibility for the late disclosure Saturday night, stating he could have done a better job of notifying the public about his health. The Pentagon says Austin has no plans to resign. Jeremy Sandberg, NTD News.